Welcome to Vintage Weights PGH. I'm Rob, and I'm in my garage because this is where I do the work on the bars and plates that you view on my channel. It was just getting too messy in my home gym to be doing the work in there, so my wife graciously allowed me to take over the garage, or at least I think so. In today's video, I'm going to be disassembling some York split sleeve barbells, and that entails using a roll pin punch set, which I'll show you in a moment, and a hammer, and in my opinion, a crate works well and is usually handy, but you can use, sawhorses or whatever gets the bar off the ground. So now let me flip the view on the camera and let's get to work. As I mentioned, what you need to pick up prior to disassembling a split sleeve barbell or any barbell that has roll pins would be a roll pin punch set. Once I got this, everything became a lot easier. I had tried to remove the roll pins in other ways and spend a couple bucks, get a punch set. I'll drop a link in the description and a couple pennies will roll my way if you buy through the link. Last time I checked, I think this was about 10 to 15 bucks. So get one of these. Then the one you want to use for the York roll pin would be the 7/32 punch. And if you don't go with the set that I have, please make sure that whatever set you get has a rounded top. Get that rounded top, or else it won't sit properly in the roll pin. Now, what is the roll pin? If you're confused by that, what I'm talking about is right here. So to disassemble a split sleeve, what we're going to do is take the punch and seat it properly. And then I like to use a crate because it's plastic, so I don't have metal on metal. It allows the entire sleeve to sit flat, so I know I'm not bending anything as I exert force. Now, before you start to hammer in, since this is a split sleeve, something you want to be aware of is that if it's resting on a crate or on a sawhorse or something like that, if I grab the sleeve, this is going to rotate because it's a split sleeve. So you want to make sure you bring the bar up and that you rest, if possible, this part, the inner collar, if you will, so that this doesn't rotate as easily. Now that I have this here, I'm going to press down, make sure everything's solid, and I can get my trusty hammer here and start to hammer. Now, once you get it moving, it usually goes a little bit easier. You can see that I've started to get the roll pin to come out. The other side. That's the other reason you don't want this flat on the ground, besides hammering metal into cement, is that your roll pin's going to go into the cement. And that's not good. So this one has started moving. Out of the bars that are sitting behind me, this has probably been, I don't know, kind of average in terms of difficulty to remove. So now it's just a matter of removing it completely. And now that it's going through too, you can see that the punch is actually in there. So you want to make sure your hand's not in the way and that you're moving it all the way out. I also like to have this pointed down because they have a tendency to shoot out of there. Safety glasses are advised just in case you're afraid a roll pin's going to hit you in the eye. And there we go. So this is what the roll pin looks like. Don't lose track of it. I mean, you could buy a replacement one, but why create added hassle? And then, oh no, my punch is stuck. What am I going to do? This frequently happens. You're pounding away on it, it gets stuck. So a very easy thing to do is to turn it upside down and give it a light tap. I don't want to ruin that rounded edge. So don't go crazy, but just knock it out of there. It's not that big of a deal. At this point, you're going to take the end cap off. That's what it looks like. And you might want to put on gloves if you don't want to get dirty. You can see my hands are already dirty because underneath here, I'm pretty sure we're going to discover a lot of grease. Oh, maybe not. Look at that, how beautiful this bar is. This is rare. This is definitely rare. Maybe someone who had this before me worked on it, but this is not the typical case when it comes to barbells. Let me grab one of these ones behind me here that I already took apart to show you. This is usually what is found. See all that blackness compared to that nice shininess? Wear gloves if you don't want to get that on your hands. Now, if you want to reassemble, what you need to do is seat it properly. You're going to see that, uh-oh, it's not going on. Just get it to that point and then twist until it does go on. There we go. That's just the inner portion catching. Now, at this point, you want to line up the holes. So in the shaft, there's a hole. And then we put on this portion. And you put it back in. Now this can prove to be a little more difficult at times. Many places that I looked advise not to hit it directly with the hammer. Kind of like putting a nail into a board. I like to tap it first with the hammer to get it started, because as you can see, it's going to fall out. And if you're trying to balance the punch on top, that's going to get tricky. I think the advisement of not hitting it directly with the hammer is just that you're going to flatten, or you're going to, you know, change the shape of the roll pin. But in my experience, a light little tap like I just did that inserts it just enough so that now you can seat it and then really go to town with the punch doesn't hurt anything. Now if it seems like it's not working, not going in, try to take it off and you'll be able to tell, oh wait, it has entered the hole of the shaft. Man, Gluck is going to love this video. And you just hammer it back in. All right. What I do is I just run my thumb over. If I can't feel it on either side, then it's good. If you are really concerned and you want it completely equal, you can keep tapping on either side to get it to that point once you reassemble. But as far as I'm concerned, if it's not protruding, it's fine. Now that it's reassembled, you can pack up your roll pin punch set for another day. So there you have it. Hopefully now you know how to take apart a barbell that has a roll pin, or even two roll pins in it. But how do you tell whether it's York, Texas, a knockoff, Billard? That's another story for another time. So make sure that you subscribe to Vintage Weights PGH so that you don't miss the follow-up videos on how to identify a York split sleeve, how to figure out how old it is, and how to clean it up. Thanks for stopping by. Old weights, new gains.